Hello, everyone. Welcome to Big Cat Sports. It's our weekly NFC North breakdown for Week 13. We're going to start with Green Bay. There's only two games this week. We had the Green Bay playing and we had the Lions playing. Other two were on a bye. Green Bay shockingly won 27-19. It is a little bit controversial with the pass interference not being called, but calls kind of went both ways at the end of that game, from what I saw. Patrick Mahomes did not have a good day. The Green Bay defense shut him down a little bit. He only threw for 189 yards, one touchdown, one interception. They could not stop the run, though. They did rush for 148 yards. The Chiefs did. Pachenko did really, really well that game. I'm happy he's on my fantasy team, and I did start him. But Jordan Love came out, and he had a good game, threw for 253 yards and 3 TDs.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we shouldn't say shockingly anymore or surprising. Green Bay's playing the best football in our division right now. They got some breaks, like you said, controversial calls and things like that, but they ended up winning the game and playing a good game, and Jordan Love has looked good the last 3 or 4 weeks. So yeah, I mean, I think with their schedule, you look at it, and as crazy as this league goes, it just seems like teams are going through periods where they play really, really well, and then periods where they stink. And there isn't any team that doesn't seem to be going through that at some point. We're going through a bad period. We're still winning games. So maybe we should be a little more grateful. It's just hard, with our history to not be a little apprehensive.
Yes.
Watching how they played. But Green Bay is, really played well the last 3 or 4 weeks. And
they do not have a tough schedule ahead of them.
They have a lot of easy teams. You can see them winning double-digit wins. So we'll see what happens. The Lions,
we cannot sleep. Now, the Lions are in a good spot with them also winning this week, 33-28. You came out hot. Your defense looked good for the first quarter, and then something happened, and you just stopped playing for some reason. Something happened. And and as much as I get on people on the fire Aaron Glenn train, I am starting to get a little weary, and so I think something might need to get done in the offseason personnel-wise. Not during the season, but after the season.
After the game, we did that video after the game. We were hot. Even though they won the game, it just feels like a loss. And you go up 21-0. At the very
7 minutes into the game, you went 21-0.
Right.
And you didn't skid them. You got 2 touchdowns the rest of the game.
Right. At the worst, you think you should play even with them the rest of the game. Not like I said, your stomach's in knots for the last quarter of the game, and because you really had a real chance to lose that. If it wasn't for the fact Derek Carr went out, you probably would have lost that game. I just think with the Lions, it's best just to kind of lower our expectations maybe a little bit right now, despite what the pundits want and everything else. We've been pumped up so much for this team, and I think we're just a little too excited.
And the national media is also starting to calm down a little bit today. Like today, as I was watching today, they calmed down. They don't think we're a top 3 team in the NFC anymore. They think we're probably in that 4th spot behind the Cowboys, the Eagles, and 49ers.
I don't think we're at a 4th spot right now. I think if you look league-wide, we're
league-wide,
around 10.
League-wide, we're around 10. NFC, we probably are the 4th team because the NFC is not strong. It's very top-heavy. And
right.
The Lions have a really, really good offense. There's no doubt about their offense can keep up with anybody. The thing that is going to hurt them come playoff time, because with how the NFC is, they're at least going to be a wild card at this point. You should win at least 2 more games and make a wild card. That would be disappointing, but you should.
So do you think
your defense is not going to be good?
Do you think yesterday's offensive woes were basically just a thing of them taking their foot off the pedal?
Yes.
You don't think it was any more than that, or just they
make
adjustments? You think they purposely said we're up by 24-7. We're just going to run out the clock from here on in.
I think
That's a stupid strategy.
I feel like they might have just they felt confident and they're like, all right, we'll just do some plays. We'll see how some stuff works and some stuff didn't work. But you didn't score much after the fact. And that is the problem.
Right. I mean, you haven't. And I understand maybe that mentality if you're in the fourth quarter and you're up by 3 touchdowns that you just want to run some time off the clock and be conservative. That's fine. But I mean, God,
I think their confidence was just up. I think that was it. Their confidence was up. They weren't trying to run up the score, so they were just trying to play, and it looked like they.
I guess
didn't,
so.
didn't
And then
care.
at that point of the game, New Orleans doesn't have anything more to do than to try to score, so they're desperate, and so it's a different mentality.
Yes. And New Orleans
but still, I just don't. You with our defense, you should never take your foot off the pedal. And you got to approach every series like it's nothing.
And one thing really, New Orleans is also not an easy place to play in. Now you had an advantage of having a lot of Lions fans in New Orleans, which I was surprised to actually see the amount that was in New Orleans.
I mean, I didn't get a chance to really look at it. Everyone was saying that
you could hear it. You could hear it on TV, but
right.
there's a good amount. But still, New Orleans is not an easy place to play at. And the fact that you did go in there and you got to that fast of a start, I think it was just you let off the gas a little bit. And like I said, we have to figure out this defense before the year ends. People think that CJ is going to be back December 20th. He's not. If he's back, he's starting his practicing December 20th, if anything, and he will not be back until the playoffs. James Houston, he's a few weeks out, and if he's back, it's not until the playoffs.
And to expect him to make any kind of impact is crazy, even in the playoffs.
It's not going to be immediate.
I thought didn't play terrible for his age.
Irvin did very good.
He did well. So I mean, I don't think it's a person. We can't do anything about the personnel. We have who we have.
Not during the year.
Going to improve it, but I don't know if there's anything scheme wise we could do.
You are not doing anything personnel wise, so until the off season.
Right. I mean, the defense is what it is, and I don't know if there's anything scheme wise we can do to make it better. We may be just stuck with this.
Yes.
Offensively, though,
we're fine. You're scoring 30 points a game. The only problem,
but we're running into a lot of injuries now. We don't know how long Frank Ragnow is going to be out. I hate that idea. I always people are going, well, our line's decimated. Our line has been decimated for pretty much every game. We have not had our 5 starters in more than like 3 or 4 times that I know of.
All at the same time, no. Vaitai is going to be out he's out for the rest of the year.
So when people talk about
Glasgow's going to be your center, we're going to see how bad the injuries are, because we have, as the making of this video, we have no updates on McNeil or Ragnow, but that is what's going to be a factor going into your last games. Now, talking about the rest of the year, we'll start with Green Bay, since I feel like they're now your biggest threat in the division. However, you win a couple games and you'll be fine. 2 games and you'll be ahead of Green Bay. They are 6-6 now. We have 3 teams in our division that are currently sitting in the playoffs. Green Bay, who they have left, they have the Giants, the Bucks, the Panthers, the Vikings, and the Bears. They could easily win at least 4 out of the last 5, even 5 out of the last 5. But I don't think they're going to beat Minnesota in Minnesota. Just because I feel that
it's going to be awful tough. I mean, I really don't. Like I said, they're the best team in our division right now, at least
playing wise. Currently playing wise, they're the best.
They're playing the best ball right at this moment.
And then looking at our second team in our division, that I still believe you need to keep an eye on, and it is our biggest one because they still sit ahead of Green Bay, is the Vikings. Last 5 games, Raiders. I think they're going to lose to the Raiders. The Raiders are playing really, really good right now. The new coach has them playing well. I think they can beat the Vikings at home. But then they play in a Bengals without Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. They have a good chance of winning that game. Maybe weather-wise might affect that, but they have a good chance to beat the Bengals. And then it's us 2 games in that pack. That Packer-Viking game is going to be the biggest game for the Vikings and the Packers. Whoever wins that game, if the Lions are struggling the rest of the year, is the one that we got to worry about for the division.
Right.
Because both these teams have to win out to beat the Lions, really, in the division. They have to win out.
That's if the Lions, like I said, I think the Lions are capable of winning every game, and the Lions are capable of losing every game.
But
there's no clear cut thing.
It's just that 3-game lead. So you have that 3-game lead with 5 games left. The Lions win 2 of them, they're good. As long as you split with the Vikings, you're
I'm
good.
thinking 12 wins is what they need.
Well, I'm saying you should be good splitting wise. You should be able to. If you split with the Vikings, you're good. You have 2 wins you got to get. Lions wise.
These next 3 games are really important.
Yes.
If they can win the next 3, then it does, that solves this problem.
Because
12 wins wins this division.
Lions wise,
for sure. Maybe 11.
Lions wise, you need at least, in my opinion, you need at least win 2 more. If you go 3-3, you're fine. You're at least, no matter what, you're
thinking that the Packers or the Vikings are both going to have games where they're not going to play their best, and they're going to
one of them's going to lose. I think both teams are going to have to win out to win the division. One of them's going to have to lose because they play each other. That is what's going to have to happen.
That's true.
So, the Lions wise, you have to win 2 more of these games. Bears, you can win. Broncos, Saturday night at home, you can win. Yes, Broncos are playing well, but you can win. Vikings in Minnesota, possible. I don't know if you're going to win that one, but it's possible. The one you're likely going to lose on your remaining schedule, the Cowboys.
Right. When our offense is on, we can beat anybody.
And then you end the year against the Vikings. But yeah, it's not going to be easy.
I mean, you just see what we could do. As much as we're complaining about the last 3 games, they've won 2 of them.
They actually won 3 out of your last 4 that you've been complaining.
Right. Well, the third, the San Diego Charger one.
Well, no, that's the Bears. Well, Chargers, Bears, yeah. Chargers, Bears, Packers, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, the Charger one was just a fun shootout. I mean, that's going to happen now and then. You don't play a. We're talking about outright where the team plays. The total team, really doesn't play well for the last 3 games. They've had 3, in my opinion, really bad games. The Saint game, maybe half of it for the offense was good, the first half. But totality, I mean, really, they haven't looked like a good football team for at least, the last 3 games. And you've won 2 of those.
Yes.
Which I guess you should be grateful for. You're playing bad and you're still winning.
So to fight the same old Lion rhetoric, you're winning games still that you typically, as the same old Lions, would lose. I thought they were lose to the Saints. I swore they were going to end up losing to the Bears. Like you, and then see even the Packers. You had a chance to come back. You were right there.
Yeah, I mean the Packer game was
right.
It
is the feeling that anyone who's watched the team long enough, you are still concerned, and that's 100% warranted. You don't know how to feel still, and it's not going to be relief until you know.
And I think we've also shown through this year, at least, people like to point out against bad teams, but when our team is on, we trounced people through the first 6 games.
Yes,
I mean we other than Seattle, we beat
Seattle
people
and
by
Kansas
double
City
digits almost every game.
So you don't want. You're not used to. You got used to winning.
We got used to it, and we don't.
And now you're more concerned.
And because of their past, we're a little nervous. We don't have the division sewed up, and we know what this Lion team has done in the past. The same old Lions. But like I said, I'm going to try to enjoy the ride as much as they allow me to. If they don't win the division, though,
your team.
I hate to say heads have to roll and you have to.
Oh no! If you don't win the division, bye Aaron Glenn, because that's the problem.
Bye Aaron Glenn. You can't say bye to Campbell yet, but
Ben Johnson's probably gone because he's going to get a head coaching job.
If we don't, we're getting ahead of ourselves. So yeah,
but Aaron Glenn will be gone by the end of the year.
Let's not fire people before something happens.
But last team we didn't talk about because they're not really relevant in the division, but we'll talk about them real quick, is the Bears, right?
The Bears.
And they could really win 3 out of their last 5. They could beat the Browns, I think, with an injury.
Guys, I'm going to predict the Bears win this weekend. I think
at the moment, that's what you're thinking.
The moment,
we'll see what you say by the end of the week.
We'll see, but that's how I feel.
But I think they could beat the Browns. They could beat the Cardinals. They could beat the Falcons.
And they could beat us.
You're thinking they could get 4 wins to end the year?
I'm just saying this is going to be messy, and the Lions have to take care of their own business.
So just so you know, if you think if the Bears go on their run and they win the next 4 games, they would be 8-9.
Yeah, they're not making the playoffs, but
They're not making the.
They have nothing to lose. It's tough to play a team.
They're not
that
going
has
to
nothing
make
to lose, and they're on the rise. I mean, the Bears have played well lately.
I just want you to realize that 8-9 would probably still be last place in our division, while Minnesota and Green Bay will have a winning record. So for those of you who have said our division sucks, we're likely going to have 2 other playoff. You're going to have 3 NFC North teams potentially in the playoffs.
That's the weird thing is that shows you to me that the NFC is not all that good, other than a couple teams. And we're not one of those couple teams at the moment.
I'll even tell you the playoffs at the moment. So at the moment, to end the video, because we actually went a little bit longer than we thought we were going to go. Philadelphia, San Francisco, we're at 3rd because the Falcons suck and they're 6-6.
Oh my God, what an atrocious division! That has to be the worst in the whole.
They're at least 500 winning their division, and then it is Dallas at 9-3, and if Dallas beats Philly this week, 9-3, 9-3, we would all be tied as long as Detroit and San Francisco win. There'll be a 4-way tie for first place.
And I guess like I said, it's just the Lions.
Just so you,
I'm going to try to be more positive here. We are 9-3, and could be tied with the 3 top teams in the NFC. I mean, I guess if you had said that certainly before the beginning of the year, we would all take that.
Yes, we would. So, and your wild card teams currently: Dallas 9-3, Minnesota 6-6, Green Bay 6-6. Right now, you'd be facing Minnesota in the playoffs if it ended today, and the teams that are sitting out at 6-6, the LA Rams and the Seattle Seahawks.
Wow.
So you have 4 teams that are 6-6.
And my dream is still there because I would love to play Matt Stafford in the first game. Yes.
At home, Matt Stafford comes here.
And all the Lion fans would wear their Matt Stafford jerseys. No.
Cheering against him. Cheering against him wearing his jersey.
It'd be hard. You can't cheer against me. I mean, we certainly wouldn't cheer for him, but it'd be hard to cheer against him.
But longer video than we planned on doing because there was a lot more apparently that we wanted to talk about than we initially thought. But with all that being said, let me know what you think in the comments. There's a lot to talk about with our division.
Try to stay positive out there, Lion fans. I'm going to do my best.
Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Anymore. Share the video around. I hope to see everybody soon.